Layers in ball shorts, coaching from the side of the ball court. If you know, you know. One stop like a Walmart. We got the for the wrong sport. You know, you know.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the Buffalo Bills and their rookie quarterback drafted 7th overall, Josh Allen, face off with Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas, NRG Stadium in Houston. A few moments ago, this crowd whipped into a frenzy as J.J. Watt and the Texans' D was introduced, and this unit will be in for a stern test as they match up with the Buffalo Bills. Hi again, everyone, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Bills, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here come the Bills on offense for the first time. It's Josh Allen who will be under center, the rookie quarterback who was drafted 7th overall from Wyoming.
And for the Buffalo Bills, this is just the 3rd time since 1983 when they drafted Jim Kelly that they've drafted a quarterback in the first round. The other two, J.P. Losman out of Tulane and E.J. Manuel out of Florida State.
On first down, Allen. It's complete to his tight end, Charles Clay. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards that time, and a Bills first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
From midfield, here's Allen. Going deep for Benjamin. And this is going to be intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And the return will stop them well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line. They are in a zone. Remember, folks, 4 interceptions for this defense a week ago. First drive, make it number 5.
And the focal point will be the people who kick the ball out of the air. But let's not forget, to make that happen, it has to be an excellent pass rush, terrific coverage where they are plastered to the receivers, and then, of course, taking it away, making the catch, and going in the other direction.
Well, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
Call it a 48-yard punt. Give them 9, though, on the return. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And the Bills getting set to go. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
We got 3. Set. Boom.
Allen will try again on 2nd down. Man open right side, it's the tight end Clay. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 10 yards, good enough for a Buffalo 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
He'll get this one complete to Zay Jones. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
But now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. And a look now at the defense for Houston.
Fulfilling his immense promise now is SgyBtmBoy's, who had 9.5 sacks in 2017, the most in his 4-year career, and he's added consistency to his game. Back-to-back seasons he's gone to the Pro Bowl, and they use him at defensive end, outside linebacker, stand him up almost like an inside linebacker to rush the passer. He is hard to stop when he gets ahead of steam going.
3 down. Set. 3-19. 3-9.
Now Allen off the bootleg. This complete to the tight end Clay. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1.
3 down. All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Allen looks to throw on 3rd and 1. Blanketed coverage by Houston. Makes it 4th down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And Hauschka's kick is good. And the Bills will take a 3-0 lead. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little...
He's got him in, complete. And give him a gain of 37.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And this is caught at the 8. And he's brought down, but not before reaching the 8-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
They'll go with Foreman. What a stand so far defensively, and now that's going to bring up a 4th and goal.
Now, this feels like old-school football because this has turned into a good old-fashioned goal line stand. So on offense, what do you do now? Do you decide to run it or throw it if you go for it on 4th down?
So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. It's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
Allen now on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish.
Now let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Allen. And caught by Curley. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before.
Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. The 4-time All-Pro, J.J. Watt. And it'll be 4th down.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit, right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Almost outkicked his coverage there. 48-yard punt, but 10 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. The drive starts with a run by Blue. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Calling a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
They go again with Blue. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A pickup of 11 and a Texans 1st down. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come up.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. Faking the give. Now Watson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll take this one in for a Texans Will Fuller with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Texans are in for 6. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Getting set to go again, we get a peek at Kelvin Benjamin as he heads back out there now. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the second quarter. They're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's two sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion. Anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. He got 29 yards that time. So there you go. Like you predicted, they do get him involved, and he's got his first catch and a first down.
And what you need to do there is just put a check mark next to the circle with his name, with his number in it. Don't put the line through it. It's not done yet. That should be the first of many.
And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Now they run with the backup. It's Chris Ivory. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
False start, offense.
Oh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
And this offense back to needing 10 yards after the false start. 3rd and 10.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Throwing is Allen on 3rd. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Whitney Merciless able to drop him for a loss of 12. And it'll be 4th down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
They start the drive with a give to Blue, and he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Off of play action, it's Watson. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
He finds his target, Fuller. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He had their lone TD earlier. Now he's got a first down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's Watson, eluding the pressure right, and avoids the contact by sliding. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
Certainly making his presence felt in both the pass and the run game. He's having an impact.
Yeah, and his first carry of the game right there, he had hurt him with his arm. Now he's showing that he can shuffle the puppies as well. Watson now to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
On second down, here's Watson. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. The Texans on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. To throw is Watson. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Jordan Akins, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
And that's why the Houston Texans use a 3rd-round pick on Jordan Akins out of UCF. A little bit older than the normal rookie at 25, but remember, he spent time in minor league baseball coming out of high school, and he used those skills as an outfielder to track that pass for a touchdown.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Back onto the field now comes the Bills offense. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
12 yards that time and a Bills first down. Charles, I think sometimes maybe we take LaShawn McCoy for granted. Been in the league since 2009. He's played 12 or more games every season as a running back. 30 years old this year. What do you see for his future?
I still see a very bright future for him, and you're exactly right. We do kind of take him for granted. Remember, he was with Philadelphia. Then he goes to Buffalo, and Buffalo goes through the playoff drought before last season. And the Eagles, they win a Super Bowl without him. So, yeah, we forget just how special he is. But I do think with his running style, he's got many more seasons left.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Allen going to try and throw on third down. It's caught. Jones. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. The 21 yards there as they convert on third. This quarterback now 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%. And it's 1st and 10. Here's Allen on 1st and 10. Caught on the left side by Benjamin. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Here we go now.
Allen to throw once more. And this is incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home. and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
Now on 3rd and 2, they're going to elect to throw with Allen. And able to find Curley. And he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. Now a timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Operating from the red zone now. Allen, this will be caught just inside the 10. Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Hey, pull down. Set, 3-19.
And again, it's Allen. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. Well, he's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
39. Green, 39.
Now Allen again. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Charles Clay, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bills have cut it to within a score. So it goes for a rookie quarterback. He had the INT earlier in this first half, but he bounces back with a touchdown pass.
And you have to like the mental acumen, the toughness, the fortitude of him, because oftentimes for a rookie, you throw an interception early, you're taken right out of the game, or mentally you check out a little bit. Give him a lot of credit for bouncing back.
And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Out to his left. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple. Here's Watson now on 2nd down. And that one was nearly picked. Not sure he was accounting for the free safety. Now it brings up 3rd down. The Texans on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Watson hands this to Foreman. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Leckler now on as he'll punt this away. So we've come up. You want the 3rd quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the 3rd quarter. This fielded at the 2. Nifty move.
That return gets all the way to midfield, so we know the field position is absolutely flipped at this point. If I'm the defensive coordinator, I might think about blitzing right now to try and take field position back.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. The Texans on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Now it's Watson. Brings it in over the middle. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. 83 yards receiving now for him on the afternoon as he's got a first down here.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Watson into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Vontae Davis. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
4 down. Here we go now. Boom, landed.
They'll try and get the running game going with McCoy. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Now let's go.
Again, it's McCoy. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. A gain of a yard gets them back where they started. Now it's 3rd and 10. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches.
Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Whitney Merciless in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Schmidt on to punt as he sends it away. That's taken at around the 40. A 46-yard punt, 4-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review. So
under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down.
4 down. Down. Green.
To throw on 2nd is Watson. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
Set. Blue landing.
The They'll try and run for it with McCoy. And some space here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards, good enough for a Buffalo first down. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it, pick up first downs.
It's another 10 yards on that one and another first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Now a first down carry here for McCoy. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On play action, Allen. And incomplete on the deep ball. They were looking to get it to Kelvin Benjamin there. And it's third down.
Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete.
Here we go.
On third down, Allen. And he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's going to bring up a fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And the Texans set to come onto the field. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. They give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be third and about the length of the football.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Back to throw, Watson. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. He's up to 87 yards receiving now, and it's a first down.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And they'll get him down here at about the 42. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the fourth. Now a first down throw, Watson. And he slings one that's incomplete. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. They're just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
They get it to him running left. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. As his guys are in for 6, and the Texans will extend their lead.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, but those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
This drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Bills offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Jeremy Curley, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
One final try here for Allen. Looking downfield for Jones. And no, it's incomplete. The Bills' drive stalls out on 4th down. And the Texans take over an excellent field position. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. Now Foreman. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Richmond.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, Brandon.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And this is going to kick out of bounds. Boy, a fortunate bounce or two there. They'll keep possession back inside the 10-yard line.
Now, I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where... And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off inside the 5. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops. That is now 7 interceptions between last week and this week. 3 in this game, 4 a week ago.
And I saw the head coach write on his play sheet and make a little note. I hope he's writing self-scout. Bring in the guys that scout games for you with a different eye and watch him and see what's going on, and maybe they can pick up what the flaws are, and hopefully they can correct them.
Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. The former number 1 overall pick, SgyBtmBoy's Clowney, in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. On second down, here's Allen. And Jones has it over the middle. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. And right now, defensively, you love that, don't you? I mean, you'll give them that play.
And they'll take it every single time. This is almost like nickeling and diming it downfield, and too much time's going to run off the clock.
On 3rd and long, it's Allen. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
To the air, Allen. And he's got his man. It's the tight end Clay. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I looked down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need. That's exactly what they got done.
And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Again, they'll throw with Allen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. SgyBtmBoy's Clowney in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Now Allen throwing on 3rd and long. He's going to let it, and this is intercepted, and that should do it. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, and the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. And that's the play, that pick by Mathieu, that will seal this football game.
The Honey Badger does it again, and I think one of the best nicknames that's ever been given. Just so inspired. He may not care, as Honey Badgers don't, but he understands how to get around the ball, and he just sealed another victory.
How do you know about the mental psyche of a Honey Badger?
That's always been the expression. The Honey Badger, he doesn't care.
Four down, check. Hey, Blue 80.
They run again with Foreman. And he'll take it across midfield and into Buffalo territory. Now the Bills will take another timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Now Watson. He finds his target, Fuller. The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense.
Richmond.
Throwing now, Watson. Now he's forced out right. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
I like his thought process and his ability to move and get downfield. But what I didn't like was the final decision, to go out of bounds. They want to keep the clock moving. Instead, they give the defense an extra timeout.
On second down, here's Watson. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. Close there. He caught it, just wasn't able to stay in bounds.
And that's where the sideline, it was used as a 12th defender. You know, 11's legal. This one is an imaginary one that my college coach used to...
And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And this one will be brought back to the 22. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way. Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley,
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. Keep in mind, he had the 3-interception game last week, so we requested to talk with him this week. He was all smiles. He's still all smile.
Yeah, and we didn't jinx him at all, did we?
No.
Because ordinarily that happens, things fall off, but not in this case. I think a lot of it goes back to his technique. His ability to see the quarterback throw the ball while understanding where the receiver is running his route allows him to make a lot of plays on the football, and he's taking it away at a really high rate.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Texans use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's a lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Around the NFL, fourth quarter right now in Atlanta. And the Falcons have wound up winning that football game. Matt Ryan, good game throwing the ball, over 300 passing yards.
Now let's go. Blue 90.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards that time and a Bills first down. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock. And that one is incomplete, and now we're inside of 10 seconds. Just 9 remain.
Let's go.
Allen looks to throw on second down. Curley's got it complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. And they just took a timeout with 2 seconds to go. This one obviously decided. Not sure they needed to take it, but we'll take it with them. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. And, Charles, you know what coaches always tell us. We want to win our home games. That much we know. We want to protect our home turf. They got that done in this one.
Exactly right. When you start a season, everyone's goal, win all of your home games, split your road games, and you're likely going to be in the playoffs. But when you win at home, boy, what a great feeling that is. You don't even mind if people are at your house when you get home after a win like that.
So for Houston, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Jacksonville